I'm Natasha, and this is Nightline, the top stories. Kuala Perlis Assemblyman Abu Bakar Hamzah sworn in as new Perlis Menteri Besar. And mild earthquake shakes Bukit Kepong, tremors felt across Johor and Malacca. Kuala Perlis Assemblyman Abu Bakar Hamzah has been appointed the new Menteri Besar of Perlis following a political impasse that has gripped the state. Abu Bakar, who is also the Perlis Bersatu chief, takes over from Muhammad Shukri Ramli, who stepped down on Thursday, citing health reasons.
The swearing-in ceremony took place at about 4 p.m. at Istana Arau before the Raja of Perlis, Tuanku Said Sirajuddin Jamalulail.
Dengan tunangan saya yang sangat baik pada segala masa yang dikehendaki akan memberi dengan bebas nasihat saya kepada Raja Pemerintah bagi menjalankan dengan seumpamanya pekerjaan kerajaan negeri ini.
Also present at the ceremony were senior state leaders, including Perlis State Assembly Speaker Rusli Izan, Perlis Mufti Datuk Muhammad Asri Zainul Abidin, and Perlis Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Abdul Halim. Abu Bakar's appointment comes after Shukri formally announced his resignation due to personal reasons. Earlier, PAS moved to immediately terminate the membership of 3 of its state assemblymen who were alleged to have signed statutory declarations withdrawing support for Shukri. 5 Bersatu assemblymen were also reported to have signed the same declarations.
In a royal address at the ceremony, Tuanku Said Sirajuddin called on all parties to put an end to speculation, accusations and political conjecture in the interest of administrative stability and the future of the state. His Royal Highness said the decision to appoint the new Menteri Besar was made only after careful and thorough consideration, stressing that the choice was not taken lightly.
Kata saya boleh ambil macam tangan dalam puncang keluar nama. Tapi itu bukan media. Itu ikut nasib. Ini dah fikir mendalam dan untuk kepentingan negeri, untuk kebaikan negeri, untuk pembangunan negeri yang akan datang.
In the same address, the Raja of Perlis emphasized that the Perikatan Nasional leadership must move forward without internal divisions to ensure smooth governance and effective administration in Perlis. His Royal Highness also expressed his appreciation to Shukri for his service over the past 3 years as Menteri Besar. Tuanku Said Sirajuddin further urged all sides to draw a line under the recent political turmoil, set aside differences, and reunite in the interest of the state and its people. Speaking to reporters after taking his oath of office, Abu Bakar addressed the possibility of 3 by-elections being held in the state following the removal of 3 PAS assemblymen from the party after they withdrew support for the former Menteri Besar.
Kita sedang menanti apa juga tindakan ataupun rayuan daripada ketiga-tiga adun itu, dan kita amat mengharapkan bahawa perkara itu dapat diselesaikan segera supaya tidak sebolehnya tidak. Kalau kita tak naklah kalau sebolehnya diadakan PRK supaya penyusunan ataupun kesempurnaan di antara adu-adu itu dapat diselesaikan segera.
In the meantime, Perlis PAS Youth Chief Haziq Ashraf Dud has revealed that he too was invited to sign a statutory declaration to withdraw support for Muhammad Shukri Ramli as Menteri Besar. Haziq, who is also the Besari assemblyman, claimed that the invitation was made by an individual acting as a broker.
In a Facebook post, Haziq stated that as an assemblyman elected by the party, propriety and principle required him to first refer the matter to the PAS central and state leadership. As such, he declined the offer after seeking their advice. Haziq Ashraf also denounced the actions of the 3 PAS assemblymen who signed the SD without the party's knowledge and approval, calling it a clear act of betrayal that should not be further debated.
Meanwhile, Perlis Mufti said any allegation linking the political crisis in the state to certain projects allegedly approved in breach of the rules must be backed by evidence. According to Datuk Muhammad Asri Zainul Abidin, the Perlis ruler had urged those making such claims to come forward and provide details of the projects in question.
Tunggu dia kata, suruh dia sebut projek apa. Di mana? Oh, ya. Kadang-kadang saya tengok sebab ya walaupun dia tidak merujuk sejarah, tapi itu boleh memberikan persepsi. Misalnya Menteri Besar meletak jawatan kerana
tekanan untuk
meluluskan hal-hal tanpa mengikut peraturan.
He stressed that allegations made without evidence not only risk creating fear and confusion, but could also be exploited by certain quarters under the guise of religion. Asri, also known as Maza, said this in a recent podcast on his YouTube channel. Meanwhile, analysts say the resolution to the current political crisis in Perlis involving Perikatan Nasional will largely depend on how PAS responds to Bersatu's leadership in the state. Muhammad Azizuddin Muhammad Sani cautioned that the appointment of Abu Bakar Hamzah as the new Menteri Besar will not automatically ease the political turmoil.
Dapat merongkaikan kemelut politik di Perlis ni satu persoalan yang sebenarnya sukar juga saya nak jawab kan. Saya banyak bergantung sebab krisis ni bermula di peringkat ni lah, Perikatan Nasional kan. Terutama dalam PAS dan juga hubungan bersama Bersatu. He noted that PAS holds a majority of seats in the Perlis State Assembly. However, recent developments, including the dismissal of several PAS assemblymen, have further complicated the political landscape. Another analyst, Muhammad Taufik Yaakob, warned that ahead of the 16th general election, both parties need to take steps to address ongoing tensions.
Bagi saya, ini merupakan satu kerjasama yang tragis dan perlu menilai semula kerjasama politik yang sedang berlangsung kerana kalau keadaan ini berterusan, saya lihat PAS dan Bersatu akan berhadapan dengan laluan yang sukar untuk berhadapan dengan PIU 16 yang akan datang.
The Madani government's success is the result of policy stability, bold reforms and the people's trust in the administration. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the achievements go beyond figures and statistics and are translated into tangible benefits for the rakyat. In a social media post on Sunday, Anwar explained that Malaysia's achievements can be seen as the economy continues to be strengthened through quality investments, job creation and an inclusive growth agenda. At the international level, relations between governments and groups of leaders from various countries have opened up opportunities for strategic investments and strengthened Malaysia's standing on the global stage. He added that the achievements directly benefit the people, from improved family well-being and new economic opportunities to greater assurance of a more resilient future. With the strong support of family, friends and all Malaysians, Anwar expressed confidence that the Madani government will continue to move forward, serve with integrity and build a nation that is just, prosperous and competitive for all. In Johor, a minor 3.4 magnitude earthquake was detected in Bukit Kepong, Pagoh on Sunday. In a statement, the Malaysian Meteorological Department, Met Malaysia, said the incident occurred at 8:55 a.m. The earthquake was recorded about 16 kilometers southwest of Segamat at a depth of 10 kilometers. Tremors were also felt in several areas across Johor and Malacca. Met Malaysia has urged those who felt the tremors to complete a survey conducted by the National Weather and Geophysics Operations Center. Since August, the southern state has experienced several minor earthquakes following a 4.1 magnitude quake on August 24th. Meanwhile, Johor Menteri Besar Dato' On Hafiz Ghazi reported that there were no casualties or property damage resulting from the earthquake. He also confirmed that the situation is under control with no tsunami warning issued and that close monitoring is ongoing in coordination with the relevant agencies. The public is advised to remain calm, stay away from unstable structures, and remain alert while adhering to instructions from the authorities. A young Malaysian is making history on the global academic stage after winning one of the world's most prestigious undergraduate research awards. At just 24 years old, Balvinder Kaur Dillon is being honored for her work that could help shape the future of global healthcare.
Balvinder Kaur Dillon.
Young Malaysian biomedical engineering student Balvinder has now made history by winning the Global Undergraduate Award for Engineering not once but twice, becoming the first person to achieve the rare double win.
As for the projects that I worked on, there was two. So the first one was developing a bioresorbable drug release with organ-on-a-chip validation. Basically, I 3D printed a small chip that could have fluids go through it, and I had that mimic that of the artery within the body. And then for the second project, it was a lot more software. I developed an end-to-end pipeline for glioma, which is brain tumor segmentation. But the best part about that is that I also extracted a lot of clinically meaningful metrics.
And her achievements were shaped early on. With an engineer for a father and a teacher for a mother, Balvinder grew up learning not just how to ask questions, but how to stay disciplined in her work.
I think it starts with like my dad. My dad's an engineer. So of course there's a lot of like creative problem solving, a lot of tinkering here and there in the house. And a lot of times we had science documentaries on television. My mom was a teacher and she was very disciplined. I would say that she was my biggest disciplinarian in like life. So I definitely do think that shaped my meticulousness when it comes to like doing the work that I do.
Today, Balvinder is pursuing a master's degree in human and biological robotics at Imperial College London, moving deeper into areas such as minimally invasive surgery, digital twin technology, and AI. But beyond the awards and academic milestones, she hopes her journey sends a clear message to young Malaysians.
You don't know what level you're going to be at unless you try. You miss all the shots that you don't take. And even if you fail, that's fine. Failure is good because you learn from it.
From Malaysia to the world stage, Balvinder's story is a reminder that global excellence can begin anywhere, fueled by curiosity, resilience, and the courage to try.
Suspected bomb maker remanded for 7 days. This and more after this breather.
Tirai tragedi 2025. Kesumadrayan air mata mengimbau kisah lara, meningkap cerita duka. Buletin TV 9 edisi khas Rentapan Jiwa 31 Disember jam 7 malam hanya di TV 9.
Belajar kini lebih semangat dengan TV Tuition. Lebih 5,000 video pembelajaran, lebih 100 hos hebat, terdiri daripada selebriti dan guru berpengalaman. Ulang kaji jadi lebih seronok dengan lebih 10,000 soalan latihan, serta ulasan guru yang membantu anda faham dengan cepat dan mudah. Apa tunggu lagi? Langgan sekarang dan stream ditonton. TV Tuition, belajar ditonton, bijak sampai lulus.
Tahun 2025, inilah perjalanan di balik layar majalah 3.
Rasa macam ketika itu kita seorang diri sebab nafas saya dah lalu laju, jadi saya menyukarkan penggambaran.
Kisah yang kami rakam bukan sekadar cerita. Ia inspirasi, cabaran dan suara yang ingin didengar. rempit dalam kalangan anak muda di mana pengakhirannya.
Orang suruh berhenti-berhentilah. Dia mau lari mana?
Kewujudan koloni parti semakin membimbangkan.
Kita diam-diam duduk tiap pun tak ada kacau kita.
Keluar! Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang. Lari tonton.
Rasa keping je.
Mesti shopping pun boleh. Siap ada diskaun lagi.
A babysitter has been arrested on suspicion of harming several infants aged between 6 and 9 months at a daycare center in Kuala Lumpur. Cheras District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Aidil Bol Hassan said the 26-year-old woman was detained on December 16th. The arrest was made after police received 3 reports regarding the incident. Investigations also found that the suspect was the only one involved in the case. It was previously reported that a woman was traumatized after a closed-circuit television CCTV camera recording showed her child being thrown, rolled and slapped by the caregiver at the daycare center. The footage, which was uploaded to social media, has sparked public outrage and raised concerns among other parents. The case is being investigated under the Child Act. In Negeri Sembilan, a 62-year-old man has been remanded for 7 days over his alleged involvement in an explosion at an apartment in Nilai. Police arrested the suspect in Batang Benar on Saturday.
Negeri Sembilan Police Chief Dato' Alzafni Ahmad said the remand application was heard before Magistrate Siti Nur Ain at the red zone of the Tuanku Jaafar Hospital in Seremban, where the suspect is currently warded due to injuries suffered in the blast. Alzafni said the case is being investigated under the Penal Code for attempted murder and mischief by fire or explosive substance, as well as under the Corrosive and Explosive Substances and Offensive Weapons Act. It is believed that the suspect acted alone and possesses a high level of expertise in producing explosives. Police investigations found that he had been renting a shop unit in Desa Pama for the past 6 months. The suspect allegedly used the unit as a laboratory to manufacture explosive devices. His doing was uncovered after a device that was placed inside a car exploded, believed to have been caused by a handling error. Investigations are still underway to determine the suspect's motive for making the explosives.
A road rage incident in Pulau Pinang ended badly for 2 men who were remanded for 4 days to assist investigations into a criminal intimidation case in Bukit Mertajam. In the incident on Thursday, one of the suspects was seen wielding a hockey stick during the altercation.
The remand order was issued by Magistrate Nik Muhammad Sharul Aiman at the Bukit Mertajam Magistrates Court on Sunday. The confrontation was recorded by a witness and has since gone viral. It is believed the argument stemmed from a misunderstanding between the 2 suspects after one of them made a sudden U-turn, triggering the other's dissatisfaction. The 37-second video shows the duo initially resolving the matter amicably before later engaging in a verbal altercation.
New York blanketed in snow, sparking travel chaos. The details when Nightline returns.
Wanita hari ini.
Bila kita melawan, dikatakan biadab pula.
Sebab tu kena tahu antara keberanian mempertahankan hak kita.
Mochi cheesecake, tiramisu dan pizza wagyu.
Antara menu viral 2025 kami bawakan.
2025 sudah melabuhkan tirainya.
Pelbagai kisah suka, duka sepanjang tahun kami kongsikan.
Tahun baru, azab pun pasti baru.
Tak lupa juga, kembali ke sekolah Khamis ini.
Sokongan emosi diperlukan untuk berkahwinan kekal bahagia.
Sebab tu kena perbaharui lesen cinta.
Semuanya di WHI TV3
dan stream sekarang di YouTube.
dia tetap Mami Aisyah dan syurga Aisyah terletak bawah tapak kaki Mami.
Mami boleh masuk syurga ke?
What drives you to put it on? Allah.
Then you terpaksa kahwin dengan I je lah.
Orang dalam rumah ni buat aku macam ni, seksa aku macam ni. Apa salah aku lah? Apa salah dengan rumah tu?
Salju Rindu di Bumi Auckland, Isnin hingga Khamis 10 malam di Samarinda TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton. Puluhan kes berprofil tinggi dan terpencil telah kami paparkan. Syarat emosi, penuh persoalan, disulam pengajaran. Saksikan himpunan laporan terbaik sepanjang tahun ini dalam edisi khas Fail Mahkamah, Rabu ini jam 9 malam, eksklusif hanya di TV3.
Dulu tak duyung 17 tahun dulu. Asalillah.
Saya dah lama tak tengok legend kita kembali.
This movie brings a lot of memories.
For me, the best part of the movie definitely probably was the auction.
Sesuai untuk tontonan the full family.
Ada kumpulan zero dalam duyung Sasa.
Jangan lupa tengok duyung Legenda Aurora. Datang bawa keluarga ramai-ramai.
Wajib tengok dah.
Polls have closed in Myanmar's first general election since the country's military toppled Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi's democratically elected government in a 2021 coup. The heavily restricted election took place in about a third of the Southeast Asian nation's 330 townships, with large areas inaccessible amid a raging civil war between the military and an array of opposition forces. In Yangon, Myanmar's largest city, polling stations opened at 6 a.m. local time on Sunday before closing at 4 p.m. Myanmar's military chief Min Aung Hlaing voted in Naypyidaw alongside other military personnel, casting his ballot in the capital 5 years after he seized power in a coup. Following the initial phase, 2 rounds of voting will be held on January 11 and January 25, while voting has been cancelled in 65 townships altogether. The election has been derided by critics, including the United Nations, some Western countries, and human rights groups, as an exercise that is not free, fair, or credible, with anti-military political parties not competing.
Myanmar's military junta chief offers lesson in democracy. Meanwhile, junta chief Min Aung Hlaing insisted Sunday's polls were free and fair, adding that people can vote for whoever they like. He also stressed that the election is about rebuilding the democratic system that the people of Myanmar want. Analysts say Min could transition to president after the poll or remain as armed forces chief and be the power behind an ostensibly civilian throne. Either way would effectively prolong military rule.
New York has woken up to its heaviest snowfall in nearly 4 years after a winter storm blanketed parts of the U.S. Northeast on Saturday. According to the U.S. National Weather Service, or NWS, New York City's Central Park recorded 11 centimeters of snow, its highest since January 2022, while other parts of the state saw up to 19 centimeters of snow. New York Governor Kathy Hochul declared a state of emergency for more than half of counties in the state ahead of the storm. More than 900 flights were cancelled, mostly in the New York area, while more than 8,000 were delayed nationwide. The worst of the storm was over by late Saturday, but temperatures were below freezing and road conditions hazardous. The NWS warned melting snow could lead to black ice forming on roads and bridges. At least 15 people have been killed, while 19 others injured after a passenger bus plunged into a ravine on the Inter-American Highway in western Guatemala late on Saturday. The deaths included 11 men, 3 women, and a minor. The crash occurred in the Solola department between kilometers 172 and 174 in an area nicknamed Alaska Peak because of its rugged terrain in the department of Toto Nicapan. The bus, which was traveling between Guatemala City and the department of San Marcos on the border with Mexico, fell into a ravine almost 75 meters deep for unknown reasons. Early in 2025, more than 50 people died and many others were injured in another major bus crash in the country when the vehicle plunged into a polluted ravine outside Guatemala City. Switching to sports now, the Super League. Selangor blew Malacca away with a ruthless 3-0 win on Sunday to climb into third place in the standings. Nur Al-Rawabde struck in just the second minute, capitalizing on Malacca's sluggish start to give the hosts an early lead. Alvin Fortes doubled Selangor's advantage in the 10th minute, before Trigor Moraes made it 3-0 just 3 minutes later, sweeping home his 12th goal of the season to effectively kill off the contest. With the win, Selangor are level on 25 points with Kuching City and KL City, separated only by goal difference. Still on football, former Canada head coach John Herdman has been appointed to lead the Indonesia national team on a 2+2-year contract. The 50-year-old who guided Canada's men to the 2022 World Cup will reportedly earn $40,000 a month.
The deal includes an initial 2-year term with an option to extend until 2030. Herdman replaces Dutchman Patrick Kluivert and will oversee both the senior and under-23 squads to bridge the gap between youth development and the senior setup. Kluivert's contract was valued at about $100,000 a month. He is expected to remain in charge at least until the end of Indonesian FA President Erick Thohir's term in 2027. His 2026 agenda includes integrating under-23 talent and preparing for the 2027 Asian Cup cycle.
That concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at the opening of the Museum of Bad Gifts in Toronto, Canada, where people display notoriously bad gifts and artworks made from unwanted presents, with selected works for sale to support a local food bank. With that, I'm Natasha. Thank you for watching and have a productive week ahead.